Hey you guys, I have a very exciting tutorial to do. I finally got to use my James Charles eyeshadow palette. So I'll be teaching you guys how to do a crease cut using it. The most easiest crease cut ever using the James Charles palette. This is my beautiful model, so let's make some magic. Okay you guys, I already sculpted her top eyebrows or sculpted her eyebrows. If you want to learn how to sculpt eyebrows, you can look at my other tutorial. Now I'm going to just base her eyelid with Heavenly Honey by Black Opal. Then I'll use Truly Topaz to conceal the concealer underneath her eyebrows. Both products are from Black Opal Stick Foundation. What you want to do is make sure you blend all the products to each other and make sure you put enough foundation underneath the eyebrows to cover up the concealer. You could also use the foundation to sharpen up the eyebrows. All the brushes that I'm using will be listed in the description box. To begin with, I'll be using my Nye Cosmetics Climb White as my eyeshadow base. Next, I'll be using the James Charles eyeshadow palette. With this palette, it looks like you can do a lot of color combinations, so I'll be using it more often to show you guys different combinations you could do with it. First, I'm going to use this brick color in the crease. I'm just using the fluffy crease brush just to blend that product in the crease. Make sure you apply enough product on the lid so you can see it. Next, I'll be using this brown shadow to place in the socket of the crease. I start from the tail of the eyeshadow into the crease. You must apply enough product in the socket of the crease in order to see it. Next, I'm only using this black eyeshadow only on the tail of the eyes. This will bring more definition towards the eyes. I'm doing a triangular motion with the black eyeshadow on the tail of the eyes. Then I'm going to go back with the crease color to blend that in. Next, I'll be using this orange color to soften up the crease. All my brushes will be listed in the description box. Now to cut the crease, I'll be using Makeup Revolution in the shade number 1. Because she has a wide eye, I have to do different steps to figure out where her crease can begin and ends. So every second I'll have her open her eyes to double check where her creases is. I'm using a MAC Cosmetics 242 brush to cut her crease. This is the same brush I use to sculpt my eyebrows. Next, I'll shading the tail with using the same color I used for her crease. I started off with the dark brown color, then I'm going to use the burgundy color. Don't be scared, it's never too late to fix. If you made a mistake with the shading, you can always add more concealer to sharpen up the crease. This is the most easiest crease cut you can ever do. I'm using this shiny color to place in the crease cut. You will need to use a firm eyelid brush to place the product alongside the crease cut and the lid. Remember, you need to dig into your product if you want it to be seen on the lid. The smaller the eyeshadow brush is, the easier it will be for you to perfect the crease cut. Next, I'm using a brush that has a little brown and burgundy in it to blend everything in. Now I'm using the makeup wipe to remove any fallout and sharpen up the edge of her eyes. Now I'm using my favorite liquid eyeliner called Muse Cosmetics Jet Black Eyeliner. It's waterproof and it's easy to maneuver on the eyelid. I try my best to blend every edges out. For her eyelashes, I'll be using La Charmer D Wispy Lash. I use a baby lash as an eyelash base. Then I'll be using a Mink 3D lash. I'm using Sassy Eyelash Adhesive Glue. These are the Mink lashes I'll be placing on top of her eyelashes. When you pull these Mink lashes out the pack, you gotta bend it a little before you place it on the lid. I like to use a tweezer because I like my lashes to be secure on the lids. I do any means necessary to remove any glue that is stuck underneath the eye. Makeup wipes, Q-tip, whatever I can do to remove any glue that is stuck underneath that eye. I'm setting her face with D-Slick setting spray. This is a trick that I picked up from another artist. Then I'm going to use a moisturizer to moisturize her face. Then after that, I'll be using Urban Decay primer to help lock whatever moisture she have left on her face. And this primer, the Urban Decay D-Slick primer, will help your foundation to last longer. It's a super mattifier. When I say super, as in if you have oily skin, it will help reduce your oil. But you must learn how to use it because that stuff is strong. Okay, for our foundation, I'll be using Nye Cosmetics NC45. As you can see, as I apply it, I notice it matches her skin, but her undertone is a little bit lighter also. So I'm going to use Nye Cosmetics NC42 to, mimic the skin. So I'm going to add the NC42 in the inside of her face and the NC45 on the outer rim of the face. I always use more than one foundation when it comes to doing someone's face. I try my best to mimic whatever color I see that pops out of the skin. This is my favorite stippling brush, foundation jumbo brush by Crown Brushes that I love to use when it comes to applying foundation, concealer, or contouring. I will list this brush in the description box. All my brushes that I use will be listed in the description box. Even though you're doing the foundation, don't forget to work that foundation towards the eyebrows because you use the different foundations on the eyebrows. So you will try your best to blend all these foundations together. Every artist have their own picks and choosy on what type of brush they like to use when it comes to blending the foundation. I like using the beauty blender every now and then, but my favorite brush, hands down, will be that stippling foundation brush. Next, to highlight her, I'll be using Nye Cosmetics NW30. I love using this brush again to blend everything, either the foundation, concealer, or contour. As you can see, I am pressing the product into the skin as I blend it also. Press and blend, press and blend. Now to contour her, I'll be mixing Nye Cosmetics Studio Fix Fluid NW48 and NW58. Here you can see my placement of all the areas I need to be contoured, or that I love to contour. Yes, honey, you gotta pull all that hair out the way. I gotta get to the skin. Now you see I'm using a beauty blender to blend it down. I normally don't use a beauty blender when it comes to blending the contour down. I normally use a stipple brush, my favorite foundation brush, to blend these products in. But you know, every now and then I'll change it around and use a beauty blender. I'm about to get tongue-tied, keep saying beauty blender and blending at the same time. I'm gonna just say BB for beauty blender from now on. For those that are not good with that perfect narrow bridge of the nose, y'all already know my secret. Take a little bit more concealer and run it up the bridge of the nose. And use your little beauty blender or brush to blend it down. I rarely use a beauty blender when it comes to brushing the bridge of the nose. I always use my brush, but I'm just trying something new. I see some artists are very good at it, and I'll give it a try. But if it ain't work for me, guess what? I'm gonna grab my brush. My foundation brush never fails me when it comes to getting the job done. Now, when it comes to creasing underneath the eyes, as you can see, before setting your under eye, make sure you smoothen out the crease from underneath it. I'm just taking a little bit of foundation I place underneath the eyes to smoothen it out. Now I'm setting underneath her eyes with a Nye Cosmetics setting powder. This is my setting powder when it comes to setting all the highlighted areas. Next, I'll be using Nye Cosmetics in the shade Dark to set on the outer rim of her face. Then I will be using my Nye Cosmetics to set in the inner areas of her face and also to highlight her. Now I'm going to use the same powder to help cut her cheekbones. That's in drag terms. Help her cheekbones pop out. For the blush, I'll be using an Easy Blush by Juvia palette. I'll list that in the description box, the palette that I use. But it's just a mixture of blush that I put together. And I use a swirling motion to apply it. Now it's time to dust all this highlighting powder off of her. I don't dust a lot, but I blend it down. It's better to blend the highlighting powder down versus dusting the whole entire thing off. Then you defeat the purpose of adding hot highlighting powder. Again, if that blush looks too strong, don't be scared to use the same foundation brush with foundation on it to blend it and tone it down. Next, I'll be using a Juvia Place loose bronzing powder. I will list the name of this bronzer powder in the description box. I love the way the shimmer and the shine comes off of it when you place it on the skin. For yellow skin tones, Juvia Place have different bronzer for different skin tone, I believe. But for yellow skin tone, I love that bronzer. So I'll list that for yellow skin tone in the description box. If you read the description box, I would decipher which is for yellow and which is for darker skin tone. that work best for you. Lip service. So I'm using a lip pencil. It's a discontinued product. It's called from Matisse. It's a color called Brick. They don't make it no more, or that company doesn't exist no more. But I've purchased a lot of pencils, like more than one when I found that they were closing. So this is a pencil called Brick. As you can see, I'm just stenciling out her lip liner. I fill in her lips with the pencil so her lipstick doesn't run or slide. And also it helps the lipstick to pop. Now I'm using a retro matte lip color from Nye Cosmetics called Feel So Grand to fill in her lips. With this color, I try my best to outline her lip as well as fill it in. Doing red lips might be difficult, but if you take your time, you can get it right. The same way you sculpt the eyebrows, you have to do the same thing for red lips or any color popping lips. The cleanup of a red lip is just as important as lining it. So, to clean up a red lip, you can use the foundation shade to sharpen it up. If needed, you can also go back and add more color, like I'm using a pencil to shading spotting areas. I'm using a MAC Cosmetics 242 brush, a concealer brush, the same brush that I used to sculpt the eyebrows, to sharpen and sculpt the lips. Make sure remember when you sharpen the bottom of the lip, you should sharpen the top of the lips. Now I'm just using the foundation brush to just clean up around her lips. I'll be using a sponge to pull her skin down to line up her waterline with a MAC pencil called Feline. I use a sponge so my fingerprint won't be underneath her eyes. Now for the same color I used in the crease and tail, I'll be smudging underneath her eyes with the same color. At the tails of her eyes, I'm using a little black color. Now I'm just using mascara to pull out her bottom lashes. Then after that, I'll be using the silver pearl white pigment from NYX to pop out her inner corner of her eyes. Now I'm using mascara on the bottom and top lashes. That mascara is very juicy, so I will get that little spot. I know you guys noticed the mold on the side of her lips, so I will be using an eyeliner to help pop it out. I set a spray off the camera, but I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. Please like, share, and subscribe. And don't forget to hit that notification button. And please, you guys, comment and let me know your thoughts on this makeup look. Thank you for tuning in. The James Charles eyeshadow palette is face capture approved. And remember this, Everything they say about face caption, it's true. Please like, share, and subscribe. And don't forget to hit that notification button. And thank you guys for tuning in.